Lottie and welcome to a new video. My name's Lottie for those who are new here, and today, as you can see, I'm in my kitchen and I thought I'd do a baking video. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm no Mary Berry, but since I've been home from uni, I've been baking once or twice a week. So today I thought I'd bake some triple chocolate cookies because I'd say I bake these at least once a week, and they all get eaten by me, my mum and dad, which is not the best, but oh well. So let's get baking. Okay, so as you can see, I've come very prepared today. Got all my ingredients weighed out here in these little bowls, and got my chocolate bars ready. Ali special. We don't skimp in this house. So yeah, I'm making triple chocolate cookies. So for the cookies, you need 300 grams of caster sugar, 200 grams of butter, 275 grams of flour, 75 grams of cocoa powder, 1 large egg, maybe some milk if the mixture's a bit dry, and some chocolate bars. I like to put chocolate chips in, like chunky chocolate chips. First things first, you want to get your 200 grams of butter, and make sure you've left it out in a room for a bit if you normally keep your butter in the fridge, because you want it to be soft because you're going to have to cream it. So get your 200 grams of butter, put it in your mixing bowl, and then take your 300 grams of caster sugar and put that, just put it all in the bowl. Who am I kidding? I don't normally do that. So put those two things in your mixing bowl to start with, and then if you haven't got an electric whisk, just cream them by hand with a wooden spoon. But I have got an electric whisk today, Tesco's finest. So with your electric whisk, just put it in the bowl, turn it on, and mix the mixture until the butter and sugar are creamed together, and it makes like a light fluffy consistency. So just carry on mixing it. I'd say for a good 2 to 3 minutes. If you mix it for, it should become light and fluffy. Okay, so once you're done creaming those two together, it should look like this. Or it is actually meant to look a bit creamier, but it's alright like that. And this does get a bit messy, it just fly out everywhere, so I probably should have worn an apron, but oh well, we're here now, what can you do? So the next thing you need to do is crack your egg. Now, I'm not very good at this, normally I get shelling, so let's see what happens, shall we? Okay, so that actually cracked in well, no shell as far as I can see, so I'm going to put this in the bin. Okay, so once you've cracked your egg and washed your hands, just carry on mixing with your electric whisk until it's all combined together. Now that you've added the egg, it should like combine itself more together in a big bundle like that. So what you want to do next is add the flour, but just add this a little bit at a time, because otherwise it just goes absolutely everywhere and it ends up all over you, all over the kitchen. So if you just put maybe a quarter of it in at a time, and then I would fold it in if you have a wooden spoon and then mix it, or just get your whisk, go like that first, so it's it's not very technical, but you just go like that and then it won't all fly up in your face when you turn it on. So once you've added your first bit of flour, about halfway through baking the cookies, so now I'd preheat your oven to 200 degrees Celsius, so I'm just going to do that now. A lot of recipes tell you to do that first, but I'm actually quite a slow baker, so it takes me a while, so normally I do it about halfway through. So once you've preheated your oven, carry on adding the rest of the flour, add the next quarter, and just carry on mixing it like you did before until it's completely combined. Once you've added all your flour and there's no more flour left, Then you can start to add the 75 grams of cocoa powder. Again, same as the flour, just add it maybe half at a time, and then mix it together so it doesn't all spill out everywhere when you're mixing it. So just a little bit, and then whisk it together. Add the rest of the cocoa powder to your mixture and carry on whisking. Now finished doing that, as you can see, it's a bit messy around here because it does flick out the side, so I'm just going to go and grab a cloth to clean this up, and I'll be back with you. Once you've added all the ingredients, if your mixture's a bit dry, like you can see mine's not like coming together properly, you can just add a dash of milk, not too much, just about that much, and that should help it bring together because you want to form like a cookie dough, but don't put too much in because otherwise it'll become wet, and you don't want it to become too wet because then you have to add more flour. So add the milk and then whisk. Okay, once you've whisked in the milk, your final mixture should look like this, not too wet, but just like a cookie dough. So once it looks like that, that's when you can start adding in the chocolate. So you want about, I'd say 400 grams of chocolate, you want milk and white, and just break it up into chunks and then add it into the mixture, but make sure it's distributed throughout. So just break it off how it comes, you don't need to make it really small, so it's quite large chunks, and just add it in. And do the same with the white chocolate, just break it into the chunks that it comes in and put it in the bowl. So now you've broken up all your chocolate, your mixture might look like this. If it does, then it's time to get your hands dirty and put your hands in and mix in all the chocolate so it's evenly distributed. You should have washed your hands at the start, I did, but now that we're using this, you've been touching all that other stuff, you're actually putting your hands into the mixture, so go and wash your hands before you do that. Okay, so now you've washed your hands, it's time to evenly distribute the chocolate you've just put in the bowl. So let me roll up my sleeves. Basically what you need to do is gather the mixture into one big ball and make sure the chunks of chocolate are all spread throughout the bowl. So once you finish that, it should look like this, like a massive ball of cookie dough with loads of chocolate chunks all throughout. So now that you've done that, you might have dirty hands, so go and wash them again. And now what you need is I'd say about 3 normal size baking trays. So I've got mine here, and mine are about this size. If you've got non-stick baking trays, you don't need to worry about greasing them. So I've got, all these are non-stick baking trays. But if you haven't got non-stick baking trays, just lightly grease it with either greaseproof paper or butter so that it doesn't, all the cookies don't get stuck, so you can easily get them off to put them to cool. This mixture makes around 10 cookies. So now once you've got your baking trays prepared and your oven's up to temperature, your mixture's all combined, what you need to do is separate it into about 10 balls and keep them as balls. Don't try and make them into cookie shape, so I'll show you. So gather your mixture, make sure there is a good distribution of chocolate chunks in there, and then make a ball about this size, and then just place it down on your baking tray, like maybe squash it down a bit, but don't make it into a cookie shape. So just place it down like that and carry on doing that until you've got 10 of these balls across all of your baking trays. I'm on my last cookie now. I'm just getting the remainder of the mixture out of the bowl and forming it into a bowl shape. So once you've got all the mixture out of the bowl and it's empty, you should have 10 cookie balls, all roughly the same size, and there will be chocolate sticking out, but that will just melt in the oven. And one important thing is make sure you space them out because they really, really expand in the oven. So give them enough room to expand so you don't just create one giant cookie. So now your cookies are ready to go in the oven. You should have a preheated oven and they go in for 11 minutes. Now put them in for 11 minutes exactly, because when you check on them they don't look done, but they are actually done. So if you just leave them in for 11 minutes, it doesn't seem like a long time, but once you take them out they're just nice and gooey inside. You don't want to leave it more than that, otherwise they go all crunchy, and I don't really like that in a cookie, but if you like that then maybe leave it longer than 11 minutes. But yeah, 11 minutes for me is the perfect amount of time. While your cookies are still in the oven, it might be a good idea to get something out like this, like a cooling rack, so that you can, as soon as they're done cooking, you can just get them out, put them on here so they cool down, and then they won't stick to the baking tray. So it might be a good idea to maybe clean up the mess that you've made and get prepared for when they come out. Now you've got all your cookies out of the oven, they should have really expanded in that time, and they should look like this. Nice round, massive cookies. So before they start to cool, what you need to do is get one of these things and just try and get them off the baking tray and onto the cooling rack without them breaking, which is actually quite difficult. Because they're very hot and they're very gooey, so they just like to break everywhere, so this is actually very difficult. Once you've managed to get all your cookies onto the wire cooling rack without breaking any of them, just leave them for about half an hour to cool so they don't burn your mouth when you eat them, and in about half an hour you'll be left with a lovely gooey triple chocolate cookie. So I'm going to leave these to cool, and I'll see you in about 30 minutes.
A few moments later.
So it's been 30 minutes, the cookies are completely cool, and here's what they look like finished. They're really big and gooey and soft, and if I break a bit off, on the inside you can see how gooey they are, like all the chocolate chunks have melted, and it's just so yummy. So yeah, that's the finished result. I thought I'd do a bit of a different video today. Other than beauty and fashion, I thought I'd do more of a lifestyle video as I've been baking so much. So I hope you all enjoyed. I'm going to take these cookies to my grandparents' house now. So thank you all for watching my baking video. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please like and subscribe down below, and I'll see you all next week in my next video. Bye!